And she explains that greed can very well begin in college MBA programs, suggesting that graduates become obsessed with making money regardless of the ethical consequences. She uses the novel Enron case to help support her conclusion. One of the executives that got caught in the middle of the Enron bankruptcy was a MBA Harvard graduate. Since then, MBA programs around the nation were under scrutiny for being the root of corporate greed and dishonesty. As you can see, all these people have some sort of business background, knowing that production, regardless of the ethical consequences, is still production and making money. So even though I've added steroids to these cows, these people are still pleased with the production, so they continue to be pleased with my performance. And one of the things in this game is you can look at the production. As you can see, this is doing very well, maybe because of the marketing strategy that I did around 2000. So I'm going to go ahead and increase production of the company. One of the things you can do is genetically modify these soy plants, which is only $20 a month. So that's an obvious decision to do that. I'm going to go ahead and add some cows because our company is doing so well. He's still looking for cows. Okay, and here's our first complaint. The Obesity Association. The number of obese grows day by day, along with heart attacks and cardiovascular disease. A group of corpulent gold diggers are thinking about blaming us for the mess and seeking huge settlement. Obviously, they're concerned with money. It's best to stop these balls of fat before they gather enough money to hire an army of lawyers. And as you can see, they're very rude to these people that are concerned with their weight because of McDonald's. And this is a reference to the lawsuit that was passed, or the lawsuit that went to courts by Jaslyn Bradley and Ashley Pellman. It was called Pellman versus McDonald's, and these two sued McDonald's Corporation for their obesity, assuming that it was McDonald's fault that they had become obese. And obviously this is showing that McDonald's was not too happy with their complaints, and eventually the case was dropped and brought up a second time, but dropped again for unknown reasons. Some believe that there was a settlement made, but nothing was on the internet about that. And here's our second complaint. More and more people are feeling sick after a meal of our fast food. Many people believe that it's to do with the lack of meat controls. They claim we slaughter diseased cows. Some even believe that it's caused by a combination of genetically modified cattle and aggressive pesticides, which I've used in both the soy and the cattle. Anyways, we must avoid charges for food poisoning and avoid sanction. Obviously, they're still only concerned with the money that they will lose if they're sanctioned, which is often a hefty amount of money, or any charges of food poisoning, which would lose them money in a lawsuit. I'm going to go ahead and make a decision to corrupt a nutritionist to brainwash the consumers into thinking that our food is somewhat nutritious, and corrupt a health officer doing the same thing. And this pops up again. Consumers Association declares war on McDonald's. They obtain sufficient evidence that to charge food for poisoning, we have to pay a sanction. So again, and the the corporate executives are obviously concerned with this complaint and sanction because it is losing them $6,000 and their reputation. So this will lead to the loss of money. It looks like the butcher is now complaining that they're diseased cows, so he wants me to destroy them before an epidemic starts, obviously, that leads to him losing money. So I'm going to kill this cow, which shows a graphic image of a cow being killed, and then the butcher is pleased, although one of his cows was just killed. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down some of the local forest to make way for animals. And like I assumed would happen, the environmentalists are complaining, saying that we destroy forests and these pastures cause droughts. So they want to start a campaign against us, obviously leading to a strike and not enough money. So I'm going to corrupt a climatologist, which should maybe settle these people's concerns, and a politician. And the company says that the growth is not sufficient. So maybe this cutting down of the forest will please them, but I'm not totally convinced that it will increase enough. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down this local village for soy production and genetically modify that soy, as I've been doing in the previously. So now an anti-globalization movement is accusing me of destroying native tribes and leading children astray with our ads. So one of the things I can do is launch a McDonald's for the third world, which shows a very demonic looking Ronald McDonald giving a young foreign child that looks like he's starving a Happy Meal. So that'll show that they have a partnership with these starving children. And I'm also going to launch McDisney's, which should not lead the children astray anymore. And as you can see, they still are requesting that there's not sufficient growth because I just made all these purchases. Okay, so now the Obesity Association has faulted us for not warning consumers about the hamburgers fattening them up, so they have a reparations payment of $9,000, which also